Now, the first thing I notice when I look at this paper, just scanning over it, there's a lot of multiple choice at the start. Now, multiple choice doesn't mean you're expecting an instant answer. You've got time to sit and do a couple of sums, right? I'm just going to point it out to you. You've got time to do sums when you get multiple choice. It's not instant answers. You get at least a minute. So I'm just looking here. What's the median? Well, that takes us right back to like lower school. Checking the numbers are in order. They are. So it's a case of just working the way to the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 numbers. 9 plus 1 is 10. Halve it, 5. There's 5. The fifth number will be the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. And you can probably just see that the fifth number is the middle just by looking. So I'm just going to circle the 6 there. That's the answer. Median, middle number in the list, in order. Azad is paid $10.60 an hour. How much you get for 3.5 hours? So like, again, you've got time to just build that up. That's 3.5 hours worth of that. Now, don't let the numbers put you off. You just use your common sense. 3 hours and half an hour. Just break it down like that. So I'd be going like £10.60 times 3 to get me 3 hours. No free. Just do that in your own way, your own time. No frees and nothing. 6 frees at 18. No frees and nothing. 1. Once 3 is 3. 31.80 so far. That's only 3 hours. Then we've got to do half an hour. Half an hour would just be half of that. So we're looking at £5.30. And then we just got to put all that together. So you can either do it in column addition or in your head or whatever. So 31.80 be like 36.80, 37.10. I can do that in my head. I'm just putting these numbers together. But you might want to do column addition there. So whatever, but the 37.10. Next one, number 3. So what's this about? It's got the word geometric progression. Now that will take you back to year 10. Geometric progression means it's a pattern, and instead of adding as you go along, you're timesing as you go along. So you've got to look to see what's going on here. We've got to see how these numbers are timesing as they go along. I can see there that I'm timesing by 3 as I go along. I can see that now. So I just got to like do 54 times 3. So that's going to be 350 is 150. 3 4s are 12, so it's 162. And if you can't do that in your head, just do some sort of grid or add up 54, 54, 54, whatever it is, you've got to get there somehow. Right, this is a division. Division of fractions, it's the classic, it's the one when you do the reciprocal. So we're looking at doing 3/10 times 2 over 1. Okay, you've got to do the reciprocal and turn it into a times. 3 2s are 6, 10 1s are 10. Oh look, there's no 6/10 answers there. So you don't panic. What have they done? They've cancelled it down. So you cancel it down, 3/5. And then look, that only took about 30, 40 seconds. That's what I'm saying. You've got a minute. You've got a minute for each of these questions. There's no rush. And that's what you've got to remember in the exam. AQA do multiple choices at the start, right? And you've got to get used to giving yourself a minute per question just to kind of do the sum. There's no one's like saying, get the answer, get the answer. No one's doing that. You just got to take your time and get the answer. So 3/5, time to move on. Right, the multiple choices are done now, and there's literally like, we've only got pennies. They're only pennies really, what, 4 marks? It's now, that's not a grade yet, is it? So we've just got to keep cracking on. Now this question's got a bit of reading to do, so we're going to have a little read first. Somebody's making a Pandora bracelet, you see that? 8 beads, 4 spacers, heart charm and a silver chain. He buys separate items in bulk at the following prices. So basically, the scenario is here, we're buying loads and loads of like bits of metal and beads and things, and we're going to just try and make a load of bracelets and see what it costs per bracelet. So the advice here probably, I'm just thinking out loud here, I'd probably be doing some divisions to see what one item would cost. If the numbers work out nicely enough, you know, like I might be able to see like 180 divided by 20, for example, and 750 divided by 500. If I can do those sums nicely, I think that would be my approach. Otherwise, I'd find a numeracy way of doing it. But I'm going to go down that route and see how it works out. All right, I want to know what one item costs of each of these things here. So I'm going to do 180 divided by 20, and I can probably do that in my head. 9. So that's £9 for a silver chain. I'm going to do 750 divided by 500. Now, you might think, oh, that's a bit leery, that sum. But really, if you're counting 500s, like 1 500 is 500, and a half of 500 is 250, and when you put that together, that's 750, isn't it? So it's basically 1.5, 1.5, £1.50. £1.50 per bead. So we're building up like prices here. Keep going. 90 divided by 100, well, that takes you right back to primary school. When you divide by 100, you just move the digits back, and so that's 0.9. So 90p per spacer. And then your little charms, 120 divided by 30, well, that's a nice fit, isn't it? That's because that's just saying like 4 30s are 120. Right, so at this point, we've got, just to take a little breather, don't panic about the time here, we're like 3 minutes. I probably took about 2 minutes, but we're nearly done here. You've got the cost of one of each of these items, but we've got to actually make a bracelet. A bracelet consists of 8 beads. 8 beads. So we're going to do 8 lots of £1.50. So that's going to be, well, 8 ones are 8, and a half of 8 is 4. That's about 12 quid, isn't it? Right, so 8, but that's the beads. I'm going to write beads there, so I don't lose track of what I'm doing. I need 1 silver chain, so that's like £9. I need 4 spacers, so I need 4 spacers. Spacers, 4 times 90p. Well, I can probably do that in my head. 4 9s are 36, so that's about £3.60. All right, and then what else we got? Heart charms. There's only 1 heart charm in there, looking at that picture. Yeah, 1 heart charm. So there we go. Christmas present sorted for the missus. £4 there. Right, and then we've got to add it up. Now at this point, you know, there's a lot of sums going on. I might have had a brain freeze or something, and I might have got this sum. The sum's wrong here. I would always go back to a question like this and check later on that you've. You know when they say like check through your work, just check your sums, check your divisions, check your times in, just check. So 0 there, 6 there, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 2860 is it? Unless I've missed something out. Right? So 2860 is the price of a bracelet, and I would definitely go back and revisit that question later on. I'd put a star there like that, telling myself, don't trust your adding up at this early stage of the exam. When you do column additions and subtractions, it's so easy to make mistakes, even if you know how to do it. I'd make a mistake. I remember I can do it on the board and make mistakes. Just come back to questions like that and check them later on. All right, but now that's going to have a knock-on effect to this last bit. I can see what's coming here. Someone wants to make some profit. Someone's going to sell 15 bracelets at $39.90 each. So profit means like how much extra money you're making compared to what you spent on the item. So I'm going to work out how much profit I'll get for one bracelet. So I'm doing a subtraction here. Right, so I'm going take away. I'm going 0, take away 0. 9 take away 8 is 1. £11.30. That's all right, isn't it? You're making £11.30 per bracelet, but I'm doing 15 bracelets. So this is a nightmare now because I've got to times this by 15. Now again, you've got to rely on your own approach here. You could do a Chinese grid if you are like a robot that's been trained to do Chinese grids every time you see a multiplication with more than 2 digits. If you're going to do Chinese grid, do Chinese grid. You'll get the right answer. If you're numerate as a person, you'll realise that what they've done here, they've probably deliberately chosen 15 because it's a nice number to work with. It's a deliberate thing by the examiners. You can do 10 and you can do 5 and you can put it together and get 15. It's quite easy. So I don't really need a Chinese grid. I'm going, 10 of them is 113, right? And I'm going 5 of them is a half of 113. So I'm going like £56.50. I can halve 113 hopefully, because half of 100 is 50, and a half of 13 is 6.5. So yeah, that's looking good for me. And then you put it together, and that's going to be £169.50. Right? Again, I'd come back and visit that. That question there. There's 5 marks on the go here. That's more than the previous page put together. I'd want to make sure that was right. So I'd be looking and checking that later on. Your final answer, by the way, you should really be writing it on the answer section there. All right? Because who knows what my final answer is? Is it that? Is it that? Is it that? Who knows? So you've got to write your final answer here.